I think spirituality, when you say, the immediate picture that comes to anyone's mind is, oh, you'll have to leave everything. Oh, you'll have to, uh, live like a monk. Oh, you would have to give up all your hobbies and pleasures of life. I very much have realized what all mistakes I had done when I was 16 years old or 17 years old. But the people who have raised me, they never told me anything. Their belief was, "ये कुछ सीखेगा अपनी गलती से." Don't try to tell him anything. Now, coming back to purpose, yes, there has to be a purpose today, because without purpose, how would one live? आप सुबह उठते हो तो एक साधारण, आज मुझे क्या करना है वो सोचता है, हर व्यक्ति सोचता है.
Hi, in today's episode, we have with us Rajyogi Brahmakumar Nikunj. He's a young spiritual leader of Brahma Kumaris. I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard about them. He's a living example of simplicity with depth, humility with courage, and wisdom with devotion. His life is the epitome of dedication, selflessness, and commitment towards self and world transformation. A happy go lucky soul, he's always accessible to all who seek the knowledge of ancient Raj Yoga to lead a stress free life, which is really an important need in today's times. Not just that, he's also a linguist in 6 languages. He has been writing weekly columns regularly for all the national dailies. He's a popular columnist with over 8,000 plus published columns in 4 languages: English, Hindi, Marathi, and Gujarati, in newspapers and magazines in India, Nepal, and UK. He carries a blend of Eastern spiritual wisdom and Western education and culture that allows him to bridge understanding of cultures with a high level of diplomacy and communication skills. Welcome, Rajyogi Ji, in today's episode. Mm, Namaste. Namaskar. Thank you for taking out the time. Just to let our listeners know, your designation is National Coordinator of Media and Public Relations Services, Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. So, Rajyogi ji, it's very inspiring to see your journey in the realm of spirituality. ये जर्नी आपकी शुरुआत कहाँ से हुई? How did you take this path, and what learnings have you had, on the way?
I think mine is a very uh, unusual story. First of all, most of the people around, uh, they have a upbringing wherein there is one father and one mother involved. But in my case, I have been single-handedly brought up by 21 wise women, whom we call today Brahma Kumaris sisters. So one thing that's been quite unusual with me is that women have brought me up. So I came to this organization at the age of 13, and total atheist, non-believer of God, very rebellious kid. And that's how I had come here. I'd never imagined that it's been over, 35 plus years of my life in Brahma Kumaris. And when I look back, I just can't imagine what would have I been if I wouldn't have come here. But I have always believed that God has His own plans. So I am here. What I would want to especially do right through my columns also. A lot of youngsters today, they feel spirituality and whatever meditation and all these things are quite actually impractical for them. If we call, today, in fact, I do a lot of podcasts with children. So there's something called, I wasn't aware, there's something called Alpha generation and Gen Z. I had heard, but Alpha generation. So these guys, they are so learned compared to what we were at the age of, 9, 10, or 11. So they feel that all these things, you know, are all impractical, boring, and nonsense and waste of time. For them, yes, it may be true, but at the same time, a lot of their friends who are in the age group of 11 to 15, I'm, I repeat, 11 to 15, they go through a very bad phase of depression at this age. Reason being, breakup at the age of 11, 12, and 13, or peer pressure, parental pressure, broken families. I think spirituality, when you say, the immediate picture that comes to anyone's mind is, oh, you'll have to leave everything. Oh, you'll have to, uh, live like a monk. Oh, you would have to give up all your hobbies and pleasures of life. One needs to rethink about it. When I came here, let me be very frank. I was a kid who used to, this I'm talking about late 80s. So I used to sleep by 1 o'clock in the night. I used to get up at 11 o'clock in the morning. And it took me good amount of years, I think 5 6 years, to change myself and start getting up at 3:30 in the morning, which, I mean, in spiritual or in our scriptures also they call it Brahma Muhurat. But it took me some time to understand that why am I supposed to get up so early? Why am I supposed to go to sleep early? There's a lot of science involved. That is why I always say science and spirituality, they go together, provided one puts in little efforts to understand. So it has been a very, very fruitful and wonderful journey, I would say. Not because I am in this field or not because I am in Brahma Kumaris. I have been a very, very, very practical and pragmatic person. I have never ever preached or asked anyone that, you come here and you learn this thing. No, unless I'm being asked, I never speak that, you come to the organization, come and learn meditation. If someone really wishes, they would come to you. It's not about marketing or something. It's all about, kind of bringing a positive change in your life. I needed change. I landed up here. I struggled because I was unable to understand. Someone who is an atheist, how would he, embrace this thing so easily? So I struggled. I worked upon myself, and finally, I became victorious.
How wonderful. How wonderful, Rajyogi Ji. I mean, this is amazing because you're very, very young when you found yourself there. So, what's the story behind the name, and how does it continue to shape your life and worldview? Uh, नाम के बारे में आप बताइए.
Actually, as a kid, I used to hate my name. But then later on, while growing
What
up,
was the name?
my name is Nikunj.
Huh.
But
It's a lovely name.
um while growing up, then when I learned that, there's something called Kunj Gali in Vrindavan, or I think Vrindavan or Mathura, wherein Sri Krishna he used to go and play. And it also comes, I think, in a lot of bhajans, the mention of Kunj Gali. And I recollect first time when I went to Mount Abu in the year 1991, which is Brahma Kumaris International Headquarters in Rajasthan. So I happened to meet the then head of Brahma Kumaris, Dadi Prakashmani. And she asked me, what is the name of your meaning? I said, no. So she said, even I have a cousin sister, her name is Kunj. And we used to call her Kunj Dadi. She was a very elderly person, and she was the head of Brahma Kumaris centers in eastern zone, as in like Bihar, Bengal. That side, she was the head, and she used to stay in Patna. Luckily, she was there. So Dadi Prakashmani called her, and she said that look, she's my, Sansaarik cousin, and we both have similar names. But you know what is the meaning of your name? I said no. Then she told me. Just imagine Kunj Gali mein Sri Krishna aate khelte. It's such a pious name. So then I started accepting and loving my name reluctantly, though. I don't know. Uh, at times I feel I should have been given some another name, but more I'm right now known as Rajyogi. Of course, some people call me Nikunji, but more I'm known as Rajyogi. But nevertheless, sometimes I feel that no, I'm lucky, Sri Krishna comes in Kunj Gali, maybe some good fortune.
Absolutely, 100%. There are very few people, who can truly claim to know their purpose in life. मतलब मैं तो अभी भी अपना पर्पस ढूंढ ही रही हूँ. लिखने का बस एक पर्पस बहुत ज़्यादा क्लैरिटी है उस बारे. How difficult was it for you to discover it for yourself, and what all did you learn about yourself in this endeavor? I mean, पर्पस ढूंढना इतना मुश्किल होता है राजयोगी जी. हम सब लोग हमेशा उसी में गुम हो जाते हैं. So tell us a little bit about that.
देखिए ये अभी बहुत चल पड़ा है, पर्पस पर्पस पर्पस। पहले तो आई मीन व्हेन आई केम हियर, आई मीन फर्स्ट 10 years of my life in spiritual field were all like, playful years, I would say, because I was studying also. I was in standard 8th when I came. It's 7th or 8th, and I just wanted to give up everything. I want to live with my family. मेरे को दीक्षा लेना है. So the dadi under whom I took diksha, whose name also appears in my profile always, that is Nalin Didi, she kept one condition that you would have to finish your studies, else, there would be a misconception that the organization has, I mean, way back in, this is, I think, 1991. But look at her thoughts. She said that, unnecessarily there would be, talks like they are taking young kids, पढ़ाई उनकी छुड़वा देते हैं and all this. So no, you have to. And I've always been a very crying kid. I cry so easily even today, but in those days I used to cry like anything. मुझे नहीं पढ़ाई करना है. I don't want to go. You just keep me here. I want to stay with you people. And all the time she used to like console me. नहीं पढ़ाई तो करनी पड़ेगी. तुम इंग्लिश बोलना सीखेगा नहीं. बड़े बड़े लोगों से कौन बात करेगा? I said no. I'll learn from Oxford Dictionary, and नहीं जाना है मुझे स्कूल में. But then
Sweet.
reluctantly, I recollect every exam from standard ninth till my TY, every exam I used to grow crying. Last, अभी आगे नहीं जाना है, मुझे आगे नहीं जाना है. And every time she used to, convince me, अभी ये कर क्या आओ, फिर देखती हूँ मैं. I recollect she used to, all my papers. So imagine such a top personality, and during every paper of mine, be it unit test or terminal exam or annual exam, she used to see me off. She used to give me 5 almonds and अच्छा करके आना, कोई नहीं, ये मत सोच के जाओ, मुझे अभी आगे पढ़ना नहीं है. Just go and give this exam. So in that way also, again answering the first question which you say, I have been so fortunate, and that is when I always call myself the chosen one. आज इतना समय we can't give to anyone because we don't have time. But I have been lucky that so many legends, they have worked over me. Like some idol, it has to be sculpted. बहुत सारे मूर्तिकारों ने काम करके एक जैसे मूर्ति बनाया है. And I would also like to mention here, I have never told this to anyone, but uh, I mean, imagine at the age of 17, uh, such a big organization, the head of Brahma Kumaris, when she says that, we don't feel that he is fit enough to, take Diksha, and but he does not possess. So to put it simply, if you are rejected by the head of organization, what next? I mean, it's the end of road. And because, as I said, I was an atheist. My inclination towards spirituality was also ठीक है. What sustained me here was the unconditional love and affection of sisters, which I got here. So when you call, you know, talk about purpose, there was no purpose. मुझे रहना था इन लोगों के साथ. Reason, nobody used to ask me anything. तू क्या बनेगा बड़ा होके? Reason, nobody used to even, inquire how much marks you have scored or how much marks your friends have scored. तेरे को कॉमर्स में जाएगा कि साइंस में जाएगा, फिर आगे तू क्या करेगा? कुछ नहीं, nothing. So when there are zero expectations, the growth becomes quite organic, natural, and there's no pressure. So a child gets, you know, very, very good upbringing, I feel, when there are zero expectations.
Not easy to not have expectations from your children. You know, it's a tough one, Rajyogi ji. ये तो आसान बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. I'm a mother
Actually,
myself.
but I still feel today, I recollect I was in Malaysia. I was invited by the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare in Malaysia, and I was asked to deliver a talk on child psychology. I presented a paper actually. In that, the minister was sitting beside me. I asked everyone, do you feel that children can be brought up with just love and affection? Nobody raised their hand. I said, why? बोला, no, they have to be disciplined. नहीं तो बिगड़ जाते हैं, हाथ से बाहर निकल जाते हैं. I said, no, look, here I am. I have been brought up only by love and affection. I don't recollect in last 35 years that anyone has scolded me. Never. And I'm very much aware about the mistakes I have done. I very much have realized what all mistakes I had done when I was 16 years old or 17 years old. But the people who have raised me, they never told me anything. Their belief was, ये कुछ सीखेगा अपनी गलती से. Don't try to tell him anything. And I mean, here I am. I am a living example. But anyways, there was no social media or anything in those days. There was no mobile phone. Now, coming back to purpose, yes, there has to be a purpose today because without purpose, how would one live? आप सुबह उठते हो तो एक साधारण आज मुझे क्या करना है वो सोचता है. हर व्यक्ति सोचता है, चाहे छोटा हो चाहे बड़ा हो, सोचता
बिल्कुल.
ही. It starts with which clothes I would wear today, how would I make my hair. ये कॉमन चीज है. इट इज ऑल्सो ए पार्ट ऑफ योर पर्पस. आप सोचते हो तो एक जिसको हम कहते हैं इन हिंदी लक्ष्य से लक्षण आते हैं. व्हेन देयर इज अ पर्पस, यू ट्राई योर बेस्ट टू रीच और अचीव दैट गोल और पर्पस. और उससे आपके संस्कार बनते, आपकी लाइफस्टाइल, आपकी आदतें, वो सब डेवलप होता है. सो यस, देयर हैज टू बी अ पर्पस. एंड मैं कहता हूँ आज अगर पर्पस ही नहीं है आपके पास, कुछ भी नहीं है, सो एट टाइम्स लाइफ बिकम्स बर्डनसम. तो कई लोग कहते हैं दैट पर्पस, हम कहते हैं कि छोटा ही रखो आप, बट अचीवेबल हो, विच बिल्ड्स अप योर कॉन्फिडेंस. उतना इनफ है. कई बार लोग दे यू नो कि बहुत ऊंचा ऊंचा सब एम रख देते, प्लान करके, फिर हो नहीं पाता है, दे फेल. और
या.
फिर बिल्कुल उदास निराश, मेरे में तो है ही नहीं, मैं कर ही नहीं सकती हूँ, कर ही नहीं सकता हूँ. नहीं, वन स्टेप एट ए टाइम. अगेन इन माय केस, लाइक आई नेवर थॉट मैं ये बनूंगा, बट आई स्टार्टेड आउट विथ स्मॉल स्मॉल थिंग्स. पहला मैं ये समझूं व्हाट इज दिस ऑल अबाउट. ये लोग बोल रहे हैं एक एक चीज, एक एक चीज, एक एक चीज. Slowly, I started learning. I started, grasping, and then today I am after so many years. So it takes time.
So, how did your family support you when you decided to choose this path? I'm sure they were not very happy about it.
So Mohua, you know me better. I think we are meeting first time. Uh, See, I mean, mothers. I have spoken and written extensively on this mother-child relationship. A lot of my columns. Uh, Mothers, it is for them, it is very difficult to let go of a child. Fathers are
Absolutely.
little okay. But I think if I look back, I feel I was destined to come here because the way I came here and the way I got mixed into this, it was all very effortless, as, at least on my part. No, I don't know. At times I think about those sisters who raised me. What would they be thinking about me? I recollect I used to come back from school and I used to be given Bonvita and some biscuit. It was my daily routine. My school was near the center, and I feel some of them would be thinking, I mean, and what he is doing here? I mean, he has nothing to do with spirituality. Yet he comes here every day with his school bag and all. I used to study also
Sweet.
at center only. So I think today I would feel a bit awkward if someone like this comes to the center. अरे आपको मेडिटेशन करना नहीं, फिर यहाँ क्या, अपने घर जाके पढ़ाई करो. बट आई गेस आई मेरे जैसा मुझे लगता नहीं और कोई ऐसा आया भी होगा. सो इन ए वे इट इज डेस्टिनी. बट यस, took some time to convince my parents because while you're supposed to take diksha, the first thing first, the parents have to give in writing. The person, him or her, they also have to give in writing.
How did you manage that?
And so I was a rebellious kid, so I told them, look, I mean, either way, if you're not going to sign, I'll run away. So the only choice with you is that you sign. They were not in Brahma Kumaris. I mean, they were totally into bhakti. And I remember, my mom again, no, but I mean, you're going to Santa, we are okay, but at least don't leave us. I said, no, I don't want to stay with you guys. I want to stay with them only. So I think uh, after 5 years of me coming into Brahma Kumaris, my Sansaarik mother, she came to Brahma Kumaris. And then she understood. She actually took this Brahma Kumaris knowledge from London with my Nani Ma. And then both the ladies, they understood that, this is something good. Anyhow, because they knew the kind of nature. I had a lot of anger issues. And they were like, he would be a changed person if that is what he wishes. And then they finally agreed. After they understood, they saw, they came to Mount Abu, they met the people, then I think it was easy.
I need you to explain a little bit about Sansaarik Ma.
I mean, see, after all, we all are, bodily creature, physical body. And there is a soul out here, which every one of us it is having, the current or energy or whatever you say. When this soul leaves the body, it is as good as dead. जैसे जड़ जिसको हम कहते हैं, and then once the soul leaves the body, कोई भी body रखेगा नहीं. No matter how much you love that person, you would be in a hurry to send them to crematorium. तो एक है सांसारिक माता और पिता, the one who have given you birth. Then second is जिसको हम कहते हैं लौकिक, and then अलौकिक, which are असांसारिक, they are not सांसारिक. The one who give you दीक्षा, the one जो आपको ये नॉलेज देते हैं, एंड उसके ऊपर भी हम जो कहते हैं पारलौकिक, विच इज ऑब्वियसली गॉड. जो हम कहते हैं कि भाई भगवान जो है सभी के माता पिता भगवान है, दो जो भगवान गॉड अल्लाह वट एवर जिस भी नाम से सारी दुनिया को वो चलाते, तो दैट इज पारलौकिक, द टॉप ऑफ द टॉप. तो तीन हो गए. एक लौकिक हो गए जिसने आपको द फ्लैश, जहां से आपने जन्म लिया. देन अलौकिक, जहां आपने दीक्षा लिया या जो आपको ज्ञान देते हैं. एंड देन पारलौकिक. So that's how it is.
Beautiful. I just got carried away listening to you, Rajyogi ji. Amazing. It made me think so much. In today's materialistic pursuit driven world, like everybody wants more. Inner peace तो कोई गोल ही नहीं है horizon में. लोगों के पास वक्त ही नहीं है ये सोचने के लिए. So how can individuals cultivate peace within themselves, with all this chaos that's all around them? What is it that they can do? Some small tips.
See, I always tell everyone, don't be too much of conscious about peace, silence. बहुत इसके पीछे ऐसे चिपक नहीं जाओ. The easiest and totally बिना खर्चे का zero expense formula I am giving to everyone. Every 1 hour, that is every 60 minutes, all those who are listening to Mohua and me, 57 minutes is yours. जो आपको करना है करो. 3 minutes, just keep quiet. Just shut up. You want to close your eyes, you can close. Don't want to close your eyes, don't. Listen to music, your choice, but don't speak. 3 minutes, just keep quiet. Do this exercise at least 10 times in a day. So that means in 10 hours, it would be 3 minutes, that would be 30 minutes of yours. So 30 minutes of your keeping quiet, those are being deposited. Just like, I go anywhere in the world, I always ask everyone, आपके पास बैंक अकाउंट है क्या? तो थोड़ा सा, अरे ये क्यों पूछ रहा है हमारे बैंक के बारे में? ऐसे मैं कुछ आपसे मांग है क्या? सब बोलेंगे हाँ है. ठीक है, आप यू डिपॉजिट समथिंग, बचत है आपका, डिपॉजिट करते हो. तो आज मेरे पास भी आप एक बैंक अकाउंट खोल दीजिए, बैंक अकाउंट ऑफ साइलेंस. 30 मिनट सारे दिन का, दैट इज 3 मिनट्स इन 1 आवर. अगर आपको ऐसा है कि मैं 1 आवर में 6 मिनट कर लूँ, आगे टाइम नहीं है, कर लो. इट्स नन ऑफ माई बिजनेस. सारे दिन में 30 मिनट आप इकट्ठा करके रात को अकाउंट में जमा कर दो. देन यू स्लीप. जब रात को सोते. Imagine if in one family there are 4 people doing this, so that would be around 120 minutes per day, and it would be in a 30 day of month, it would be around 3,600 minutes. These minutes of peace, these minutes of silence, they would slowly and gradually bring you closer to who you actually are. Slowly, slowly, you would be attracted more towards being silent, and slowly, slowly, you would avoid speaking nonsense, which most of us do. So then this habit would be cultivated within you कि जब चाहिए तब ही बोलना है, जितना चाहिए उतना ही बोलना है, वरना चुप रहना. Now this saves you a lot of energy, and
Yeah.
this energy, it helps you glow from within. It helps you heal from within. It helps you to calm your mind, body from within. And at the end of all this, it helps you heal others also. है
Amazing.
simple, कोई भी कर सकता है.
Amazing. That is so amazing what you shared, Rajyogi ji. I will start this from today itself. Is it necessary, for spirituality to align with detachment? What does detachment really mean आजकल के modern context में? कैसे detach हो सकते हैं?
देखिए, I am unlike all other the whom you have met or heard. I am little bit different. Uh, I feel that again spirituality, people they feel कि भाई ये कोई दूसरी चीज है, इसके लिए हमको कुछ और करना पड़ेगा. According to me, every person alive on this earth is spiritual. The only thing is that they are not aware. So for me, the effort has to be put in for awareness and not in being spiritual. Spiritual तो आप हो ही, but you are not aware. तो स्मृति और विस्मृति, you have forgotten. You have to be, brought into that awareness. So that process of awareness is, it can be called meditation also. It can be called mindfulness also. It can be called silence also. It can be called, आजकल जो बहुत चल पड़ा affirmation and this and that, positive thinking. But awareness of what? Awareness that I am not a body. I am the occupier of this body, which is being made of five elements. It is like you have bought a property on rent or in whatever way. So you are the owner of that property. The property is jad, but you are chaitanya. तो सोल आत्मा जो है वो चैतन्य है, शरीर जो है वो जड़ है. तो दिस अवेयरनेस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप if someone wants to understand what spirituality is all about. And then later on, of course, there are, I mean, it is a samundar. बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं which, every day you can pick up something and, learn and think and churn and enjoy. बहुत सारी चीज. I'll give a simple example. जैसे हमारे पास कई आते हैं तो lot of people they get hurt very easily. कुछ बोल दिया, you can make out from your face. तो we, yeah, in our slang, देखो इसको फीलिंग का फ्लू हो गया, इसके देखो फेस कैसा हो गया, पीला पड़ गया. तो मतलब बहुत सेंसिटिव है, बहुत नरम है, आप इसके ऊपर काम करो. नहीं, सामने वाला विलास, नहीं मैं क्या करूं, मुझे कोई बोलता है, जोर से बोलता है तो मेरे को रोना आ जाता है, मेरे को ऐसे धक धक हो जाता है, घबरा जाती हूँ. नहीं, आप काम करो उसके ऊपर, वर्क हो. देन वी टीच देम दैट सामने वाला बोलता है, आपको क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? बिकॉज यू आर being so involved and consciously involved in that thing which is happening, that he or she is shouting at me, your eyes, your panchendriya, they are so involved. So tab, what the question which you have asked, we tell them detach हो जाओ, मुझे क्या ही नहीं रहा है वो, सुनते हुए ना सुनना, देखते हुए ना देखना. That is spirituality.
But how is that possible, Rajyogi ji?
पॉसिबल, क्योंकि हम तो बचपन में इनका गौतम बुद्ध का स्टोरी कितनी बार सुना है, हमारे टीचरों ने सुना है कि भाई वो जा रहे थे, कोई इनको बहुत गाली दे रहा था. वो कहते भाई मैं तो स्वीकार किया ही नहीं, आई डिडंट एक्सेप्ट इट, इट इज गॉन बैक. यू नो इट इज डिफिकल्ट बट नॉट इम्पॉसिबल, बिकॉज हम लोग इतने मैग्नेटिक हो जाते हैं वो नेगेटिविटी को अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए. वी बिकम मैग्नेट, तो इसीलिए सारा नेगेटिव वो अट्रैक्ट होती है हमारे पास. और वो सारा कूड़ा कचरा, whole day we gather that, and रात को then we sleep, and then a lot of people say we get bad dreams, we are not able to sleep properly, we don't get sound sleep, we have to take tablets. Why? Because from morning till night you are constantly, taking clutter, this that, सारा गंदा कचरा उठा के अंदर डाल रहे हैं, खाली करने को आता ही नहीं, किसी ने सिखाया ही नहीं खाली करना चाहिए. तो रीजन इज दैट बिकॉज यू आर एक्सेप्टिंग. और let me simplify it. You are sitting somewhere which it seems to be someone's house or office, whatever. If there is a bell ringing, you will go to the door. If you are not knowing the person, would you open? No. क्या काम है? You will ask. No. कौन है आप? And if you know someone, you will, oh hi, how are you? You will open, welcome them. So why are we so interested? कि कोई कुछ बोल रहा है इतना तो मैं मेरे मन पे इतना क्यों ले लूं? If you are being neutral, forget detachment. चलो वो तो आगे की बात है, बट न्यूट्रल. हाँ. नाउ एट टाइम्स कई बार ऐसा भी होता है दैट इफ आई हैव डन सम मिस्टेक एंड इफ यू आर माय मदर एंड इफ यू आर टेलिंग मी समथिंग, then I should have that large heartedness. Number one, to accept that no, I have done a mistake. Number two, my mother is telling this to me for my own good. And number three, I should change and not repeat this. ये चीज अलग हो गई. बट बेवजह अगर if someone is, shouting at me or misbehaving with me, why should I bother myself?
So one has to detach. We live in a very connected world. Technology really intersects deeply into our life. How is it that we live? Work में है, social life में है, entertainment, news, सारी चीजें technology के साथ है. So how can spirituality really help us stay grounded in an age that is so focused on the external? हर चीज एक्सटर्नल, मतलब 24 घंटे मेरे पास न्यूज आती रहती है, बिकॉज मैं लिखती हूँ और मैं पॉडकास्ट करती हूँ, तो कभी कभी लगता है इतना ओवरडोज ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन है. So इसमें से किस तरीके से can we get in touch with our chit, as you said, Chaitanya?
I have written a column on this digital detox, and I feel just like I am a very big um old songs, जो film songs. I'm a I'm a big listener of these old songs. जिसको हम कहते देखो old is gold. तो पहले देखो कुछ भी नहीं था. Those days were so relaxed. Days were so peaceful. But आज, see, if you say science was discovered by mankind for mankind, am I right? So it should help humans. It should, bring happiness in human beings. It should bring change. It should bring positivity, because ultimately the whole aim of the science was what? To enhance human life.
Yeah.
जब हम चलते थे तो साइंस ने सोचा चलो गति और तेज की जाए, तो 2 पहिए का साइकिल बना दिया, फिर 4 पहिए की गाड़ी बना दिया. बहुत धूप आ रही है तो छांव के लिए भाई दूसरी चीजें, छपरा इत्यादि तरह शेड, उसका ये कर दिया. बहुत गर्मी हो रही है, एयर कंडीशन बना दिया. तो हमारा कंफर्ट्स और हैप्पीनेस के लिए सब कुछ बना है. इसी प्रकार से इफ यू सी, जो आज के समय का, दैट इज द वंडर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इज इंटरनेट. सो हम एक दूसरे से कनेक्ट हो सके, तो ये सब हमारे अच्छाई के लिए. वाई इट शुड मेक अस अनहैप्पी? फिर दुख क्यों मिल रहा है? से पैराडॉक्स. इफ साइंस इज फॉर गुड, व्हाई डू यू नीड स्पिरिचुअलिटी एट ऑल? फिर साइंस ही सब करना चाहिए. बट people are now day by day children. I mean, just imagine juvenile depression is the reality in a
Yeah,
country like India.
truly.
Today, children in the age group of 7 to 12, they are the ones who go for counseling sessions. Kyun? Today there are international schools, ICSE, this and that, whatnot. A lot of time I hear, आज तो क्या क्या बन गया है. There are all new gadgets, everything. In fact, the other day I got to meet one chap. He's in standard 8th, and I asked him, you go to tuitions or no? I have installed one app and I study through that app. I said, what is that app? ये ऊपर ऐप में सारा क्लास आता है, मैं ये अटेंड करता हूँ फोन में. सो एवरीथिंग इज इजियर. तो फिर दुख क्यों है? तो समथिंग इज रॉन्ग. व्हाट इज रॉन्ग? द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग विच वी फॉरगेट इज देयर आर टू थिंग्स, साधन एंड साधना. वी आर लिविंग बीइंग्स, एंड कोई भी साधन जो है, अगेन दैट इज जड़. अगेन जड़ एंड चैतन्य. एक चैतन्य को जड़ चीज का गुलाम बनना, ये कहां तक? हाउ डज इट साउंड्स एक्चुअली? It's like, you bought a good car, super luxurious car, and with all the amenities and facilities. Would you sleep in that car?
Mhm.
It is used for commuting, right? So for sleeping, where would you go? You'll go to your
Your
home.
home.
Okay. So you go to your home, a plush house, bedroom, central air condition, everything. Can you stay there 24 hours? You would need change. You would want to open curtains, let the sunlight come. You would want fresh air. How is it possible कि एक जड़ चीज के पीछे चैतन्य इतना the slavery, that is the wrong thing which has happened. And for that, what I had written in the column Digital Detox was, it is the most dangerous addiction of 21st century. That is any kind of technology. It has become very dangerous addiction. And for that, you have to understand the process of rehab. You don't have to go anywhere. The rehab has to be here. So to start with, same pattern. 1 hour, leave everything which is electronic, stay away. एक घंटा सा start करो. We have forgot to, be with nature. I mean, how many of you who are watching and listening to us have watched stars in at least last 1 month? तारे किसने देखे है क्या? How many of you watch full moon? हर 15 दिन पे आता है ना? Am I right?
Yes.
तो कितनों ने देखा है? How many of you बाहर जा करके आपने different kinds of sparrows. Sparrows तो cities में तो है ही नहीं actually. It's quite unfortunate, but जो बर्ड्स है अलग अलग पैरट्स है अमुक सीजन में वो पैरट्स आते हैं व्हाइट कलर के पिजन्स आते हैं हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव सीन कितनी सारी चीजें हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव सीन बीचेस गोइंग टू द बीच एंड लुकिंग एट हाउ द वेव्स आर कमिंग ऑल दिस थिंग्स वी हैव लॉस्ट सारा दिन सुबह से रात तक आवर फीट्स आर कवर्ड. How many of you put your feet down on the ground, raw, your naked feet on the ground? You have lost the touch with earth. एक बच्चे ने अगर माँ का ही साथ छोड़ दिया तो संस्कार क्या आएगा उसके अंदर? I'll tell you something. मुझे पता नहीं था. There is something called earthing. You heard of it?
Yes, I have.
So today we have to teach people about earthing. अरे बाबा थोड़ा 5 मिनट जमीन में लेटो तुमको अच्छा लगेगा. Because our lives are today full of different kinds of gadda, the Dunlops and this and that. पहले तो your mom and dad और your दादा दादी और नाना नानी वो तो नीचे सोते थे.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
That brown color का that चटाई
चटाई.
वो
मादुर
तो है
बोलते हैं
ही.
उसको
चटाई
बंगाली में.
किसने आज की जनरेशन में चटाई किसी ने देखा है उनको पता ही नहीं व्हाट इज चटाई.
ट्रू. ट्रू.
सो आई थिंक ये सब रहेगा. यू कांट लीव देम. आप इंटरनेट छोड़ नहीं सकते आप ईमेल छोड़ नहीं सकते संभव नहीं है. परंतु एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग अंडर लिमिट इज मैनेजेबल एंड एक्सेप्टेबल.
Lastly, what would you like to tell our listeners, from this conversation about the potential for personal and spiritual growth in their own lives? क्या कर सकते हैं वो लोग? ये आपका लास्ट सवाल है और इसके बाद मैं बहुत ज्यादा आपको और सवाल नहीं करूंगी, पर ये वाला आप बहुत अच्छे से थोड़ा समझा दीजिए हमारे सुनने वालों को.
To all who are watching this, I would first of all request you all, don't take your life so lightly. I'm concerned especially about the younger ones, the youngsters. The kind of life which you all are living, the relationships, be it in your families or your relationships with your friends or relationships while you are in, you know, love with someone. You all get hurt so easily. You all hurt each other so easily. I lot of time I there was a youth festival and I had spoken about this many times to all the youth that you all guys are the best brand ambassador of Startup India. Every Monday you do one new startup which is winded up by Thursday. Every Friday there is again new startup. इतना सब अंदर बार. I mean, guys, you are not understanding the effects of leftover feelings from one relationship to another. आपने एक रिलेशनशिप में ब्रेकअप करके दूसरे में चले गए, विच इन योर स्लैंग आप लोगों की भाषा में आजकल कहते हैं वी मूड ऑन. नहीं होता है. आई वुड आस्क एनीवन एंड एवरीवन कि आप में से कितनों को याद है फर्स्ट टाइम स्कूल में जब भी आपको कोई पसंद आया था. मेजोरिटी को याद रहे.
जी बिल्कुल.
Remains in your conscious. So what I would want to say everyone is, don't make unnecessary karmic accounts जिसको आप सेटल नहीं कर सकोगे, because they form a good amount of your clutter in your mind, which in terms of technology I would say in your recycle bin, and you won't be able to empty that recycle bin. आपको नहीं आएगा वो करने. तो it is better आप उतना लेफ्ट ओवर फीलिंग्स का क्लटर इकट्ठा ही नहीं करो. To all the youngsters and young kids, if you are studying, concentrate on your studies first. There is long way for you to get into relationships, but पढ़ाई के टाइम पढ़ाई करिए. And most importantly, my humble request to everyone, don't don't ever go to the extent of taking your life. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है इस दुनिया में जिसके लिए आप अपने जीवन दे दो. किसी ने आपके साथ ब्रेकअप कर लिया, किसी ने आपको कुछ बोल दिया, और तुरंत जाके यू टेक ड्रास्टिक स्टेप. थिंक अबाउट योर पेरेंट्स जिन्होंने आपको जन्म दिया है. दोज हु आर डे इन डे आउट, दे आर वर्किंग हार्ड फॉर योर फ्यूचर.
Absolutely.
Without thinking anything about them, you guys go to, I feel very, very bad about this. ये काम नहीं करिए. सीख हेल्प, उसमें क्या शर्म की बात. अगर आपको अंदर ऐसा कुछ है, दिल दुख रहा है, तकलीफ हो रही है, सीख हेल्प. You can't talk to your parents, talk to your friends. You can't talk to your friends, go to some doctor and counselor. उसमें कोई शर्म की बात. बट अपना जीवन जो उसकी वैल्यू को समझिए. And to all the parents and people in family who are running family, don't pressurize your children too much. देखिए, हर बच्चा अपना भाग्य लेकर के आता है और अपने भाग्य अनुसार वो आगे बढ़ेगा. As parent, you can give them good education. As parent, you can try your best, especially to young mothers, to give good sanskars to your child. But once they enter teens, stop advising your children क्योंकि they need that space. So don't suffocate them. Keep a watchful eye. That is a must for a parent, especially a mother. But बहुत suffocate नहीं करिए. उनको अपने हिसाब से चलने दीजिए. And most importantly, again, for the couples who stay in families, I'm too concerned for the elderly. A lot of them, I had done one program called Vruddhotsav. Don't forget, even you have to reach there in some years. Don't neglect them. See, these people just need your time. Sit with them for half an hour. Talk to them. That is it. Because they have done so much. Imagine someone has traveled for 60, 70, 80 years, and today he or she, they are in a resting space. What they need a holding hand. They need someone to just come and ask, ठीक है, सब okay है? ठीक है. तो इतना करिए बस है. And lastly, to all teachers, I would say that a parent gives birth to a child, but a teacher truly shapes the character and future of a child.
Yes.
I think I have written extensively on educational reforms. There is a dire need of educational reforms in India, especially. So give education. आप जो पढ़ाते हो जरूर पढ़ाइए, पर साथ साथ बच्चों को कुछ कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग का भी सिखाइए, वैल्यूज का भी सिखाइए.
Thank you, Rajyogi Ji, for being on today's podcast, and it has been an absolute honor. And like you have just suggested, I will do this exercise of staying in silence 3 minutes within an hour. And बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, namaskar, for being on today's episode.
ओम शांति.
Om Shanti.